Welcome to the Class of Kings.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back. So, what is the lesson we're going to start today, Budhe? I will send you the tute, okay? I will send you the tute. Anyway, don't worry about the tute, right? We discuss everything in class, and the recordings are also given, and we will take notes if required. And I will give you the tute. So, the tutes are given for you to study for your exams, okay? Mainly. So, when the exam is near, you can study the tute, and then you can remember everything. That is how our class works. So, don't always expect the tute before the lesson. When the lesson is going, sometimes we will give, or sometimes we will give you before the lesson, okay? Depending on the situation, right? Okay. So what are we gonna start today? Anybody have any idea about this? Yeah. Today we are gonna start real history. Yeah. So last month we were talking about various things, right? Like our culture, our heritage, not much about heritage, but like it's about our society, it's about the livelihood, yeah, lifestyle. This is what we discussed, right, in the first lesson. So it is also history, it is also past, but more like how people lived and stuff. But here comes the real stories with this lesson. With the real history starts with this lesson. That's why there's a nice name to it. What is the name of this lesson? Renowned kings of our country. Yeah, renowned kings of our country. So we will look today. We will learn a few kings in this lesson. Okay, so that's why it's called renowned kings of our country. Not all kings. Okay, yeah, renowned kings. Renowned means what, Bude? What is renowned? Anybody know this? Anybody know the meaning of this word renowned? Yeah, renowned. I am a
Most
renowned teacher.
most
Yeah,
important.
me, I'm a renowned teacher. Yeah, for history. Okay. What do you I mean by that? Meaning that I am
Most important.
well known or highlight. You are a highlight. You are well known or you are well respected. Okay, this is what we say renowned. You are well known. You are standing out from the rest. You are not the average guy. You are not the normal person. You are a special person, right? That is why we say renowned. Okay. So here in this lesson we will talk about a few special kings who ruled our country. Special kings. Now you already learned about a few kings in grade 6. Let's see who can remember. Let's quickly revise what we learned in grade 6 first before we talk about this lesson. Okay. So here let me get from the beginning. Okay, let me explain you from the beginning. Now, who is a king, Bude? Tell me. What do you understand by the word king?
A person who rules the
Who
country.
is a king? A, a person who rules the country. Very good. Okay, very good. Very good start. Strong start. Yeah, this is how you got to start, right? Very good. Well done. Yes. Any other ideas? Anyone else have any other ideas? Okay, a person who rules the country. A person who rules the country is called a king. Very good start. I want to modify that a little bit. I will come to that. But before that, I would like to know if you have any ideas. A king is a leader, is it? A king is a leader? Yes or no? Yeah.
Yes.
A king is a leader or follower? A king is a leader, right? Of course. Yeah. Right. Correct. And what does he rule?
The people.
He rules the people, he rules a country, okay? Literally, when a king rules a place with people in it, we call it a kingdom, right? Yeah, we call it a kingdom, yes. So when the kingdom is born, a king is born. Because a kingdom is always ruled by a king. Okay? Presidents don't rule kingdoms. Or people don't rule kingdoms. Kings rule kingdoms. So what is a kingdom? Kingdom is a country. Kingdom is a state. Okay, kingdom is a country. Let's say with borders. There's a border to this, right? So this is the border. Let's say this is the kingdom. Okay, this area is the kingdom. There are people in it. Okay, there are people in it, and there's a government in it. And that government is ruled by the king. I mean, the head of that government is the king. Okay, so this one we call it a kingdom. Okay, now Sri Lanka was a kingdom in the ancient times. Sri Lanka had several kingdoms. Okay, several kingdoms, right? And out of all these kingdoms, anybody remember what is the first kingdom of Sri Lanka? Anybody? The first kingdom, you learn this in grade.
Anuradhapura.
Exactly. Starts with A, like your alphabet A.
Anuradhapura.
So it is Anuradhapura kingdom. Very good. Anuradhapura kingdom is the first kingdom of Sri Lanka. Okay. Anuradhapura kingdom. Right. This is the first kingdom. Okay. And the second kingdom of Sri Lanka, let me tell you a few things before we take a start to this lesson. Okay. First, you have to learn the basics. Yeah. Before building a house, you got to lay the foundation to it. And if the foundation is not strong, the house is going to collapse. Okay. So let's lay the foundation very strong first. So you know what you are going to learn. And then we will start discussing this lesson, because this lesson is starting out of nowhere. I don't like the way this lesson is starting in your book. But it's coming out of nowhere, right? It's like how you are getting down from a parachute. Yeah, you are getting down from a parachute to a place that you don't know, like a city that you don't know, right? Let's say, for example, you are jumping out of a plane with a parachute, thinking that you will land in your hometown. Yeah, your hometown is coming, and then you are jumping out of the plane, and you land out of nowhere. You land in the middle of a jungle. So you are stranded now, right? So this lesson is also like that. Okay, the start of this lesson, I don't like it, to be honest, right? Let me be frank. Let me be very straightforward. So I don't like the way they have started this lesson. So I'm going to start it in my own way because of that. Okay. We are going to lay the foundation first, then learn it, right? Because we're going to bring something from grade 6 as well. So we're going to revise what we learned in grade 6 a little bit, not so much, but a little bit. Okay. So Anuradhapura kingdom was the first kingdom of our country. Okay. Anuradhapura kingdom lasted for about 1400 years. Anuradhapura kingdom was the longest standing kingdom in our country. Okay. No other kingdom lasted for 1400 years. The next kingdom after Anuradhapura kingdom was Polonnaruwa kingdom. We will talk about Polonnaruwa kingdom in this lesson later. Okay. So Polonnaruwa kingdom was established or started after Anuradhapura kingdom. So what happened to Anuradhapura kingdom? Anuradhapura kingdom got destroyed at some point. Anuradhapura kingdom got destroyed, and we say in English, ceased to exist. Okay, so the existence of Anuradhapura kingdom was put to an end. Anuradhapura kingdom ended, in simple words. Okay, Anuradhapura kingdom ended in 1017 AD. Okay, 10. No need to remember these years. Okay, I'm just telling you so you can have an idea. So we are today in 2025 AD, right? 2025 AD, right? You were born in 2013, right? Yeah, most of you. And see, more than 1000 years ago, if you deduct this, you know this maths, right? So more than 1000 years ago, basically Anuradhapura kingdom ended, right, in 1017 AD, and Polonnaruwa kingdom started in 1070 AD. Okay, 1070 AD. Now there's a gap between these two, as you can see. What happened during this time and everything, we will learn in this lesson. Okay, don't worry. Yeah, okay. So what I wanted to tell you is, there were many kingdoms in our country, many in the sense like around 10 kingdoms, 10, 12 kingdoms in our country. Okay. So out of that, the first kingdom of our country was the strongest kingdom. That was called Anuradhapura kingdom. And this existed for 1400 years. Okay, 1400 years, Anuradhapura kingdom. Polonnaruwa kingdom started in 1070 AD and ended in 1215 AD. You can see, if you do the math, Polonnaruwa kingdom lasted for only 145 years. Okay, so compare Anuradhapura kingdom with Polonnaruwa kingdom. Anuradhapura 1400 years, Polonnaruwa 145 years, like 10%, only 10%. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So this is just to have an idea. Okay, Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa were the first two kingdoms in our country. They were very strong kingdoms. Okay, they were very strong kingdoms. After Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa, there were several other kingdoms. Dabadeniya, Yapahuwa, Kurunagala, Gampola, Kotte, then Sitawaka, Raigama, then Jaffna kingdom. There were many kingdoms, okay? We will learn them later, right? I'm just telling you so you know, right? Okay. So today we will focus mainly on some kings who ruled Anuradhapura kingdom. And after a couple of weeks, we can also finish this lesson by discussing the starting of Polonnaruwa kingdom, okay? So our target, what are we going to learn in this lesson? We're going to learn about a few very important kings who ruled these kingdoms. Okay, few important kings. Now you already learned a few very important kings in grade 6. Who ruled Anuradhapura kingdom? Who can remember? Who can remember? Yes, Pandukabhe. You know, there was a king before King Pandukabhe. I mean, the first king, like let's say, for example, in our country, first king of Anuradhapura kingdom is King Pandukabhe. Okay, right. But whenever we say our country, when we are talking about a king, have you heard of Vijay? Right, the name Vijay. Yes, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, right, Vijay. So King Vijay, who came from India with 700 followers. This is the story we know, right? 700 followers. He came to Sri Lanka. He captured Sri Lanka. He settled in Sri Lanka. He married a queen from our tribe called Kueni. She was a tribal princess, we can say, yeah. Like we didn't have a kingdom back then, so we had tribes, right? Like the life was like tribal, not very civilized. But then Vijay married Kueni, and then this is how the story started. We learn about this, like sometimes the legends or some storybooks, they say many things about Vijay and everything, okay? But the problem here is we don't have a lot of proof, we don't have a lot of evidence related to King Vijay. What are we calling evidence? Evidence means something that is left over, right? Some books that is written, or something that he made, a building or something that he made or something. We don't have really, okay? We don't have anything to show that this is King Vijay's palace. So at least something, something small, we don't have. We only have his story written in the books. That's all we have. So because of that, we consider King Pandukabhe as our first king, as our first official king in our first kingdom, which is called Anuradhapura kingdom. Remember the name very well, okay? King Pandukabhe, because you're going to learn this name again in grade 10, unit number 3 in grade 10. This name is going to come up again, and you're going to remember this name now, so it's easy for you when you go to grade 10, okay? So King Pandukabhe is the founder. We call him the founder. Founder means he's the one who started something, okay? Now you know the founder of your school. Do you know who started your school first? Anybody? Anybody know? Don't know? You should
But
know,
sir,
right? What is your school, and tell me the founder of your school, if you know.
Sir,
Yeah.
Cambridge School and Mr.
Okay.
Murthy.
Very good. Okay, you remember, right? Very good.
National Islamic School, Mr. Jalaluddin.
Very good. All right. So you got to remember things like that, right? Important things, right? Your school, who started your school. So similarly, you have to remember the first kingdom of our country. The first kingdom of our country is Anuradhapura kingdom, and the founder of Anuradhapura kingdom was King Pandukabhe. Okay. So King Pandukabhe is the first official king of our country because he is the one who started the first kingdom. Now King Vijaya, there are stories about King Vijay, but we don't know which kingdom he started, okay? So he did not start a kingdom, right? That is the problem. That is why we don't consider him a king, proper king. We can call him a ruler, more like a leader or ruler, but we don't call him a real king, okay? Vijay. But King Pandukabhe, yes, he's a proper king, okay? I will tell you why. King Pandukabhe, he came to power after defeating his uncles, okay, he had to go to war with his uncles who were also like regional kings, okay, who were kings in their areas, okay. So he had to go to war with them and defeat them, and then he united those areas and he made a big area, big one, united huge area, okay. And this area he declared as Anuradhapura kingdom, and he built a capital. You know, any kingdom has a capital. Now Sri Lanka also has a capital. Any country should have a capital, right? What is the capital of a country? The capital of a country is the most important city and the biggest city of a country, and the most important, politically most important city of a country is called capital, right? Yeah, New Delhi in India. You have Washington DC in USA. You have London in UK. You have Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte in Sri Lanka, obviously, like, you know, close to Colombo. So Colombo is the commercial city. Colombo is the biggest city. Sri Jayawardenepura Kotte is the capital of Sri Lanka. Like that, you know, there are capitals of countries. So similarly, Anuradhapura is the capital of Anuradhapura kingdom. Okay, Anuradhapura. Now this Pura means, this word Pura means city in Sinhala. Okay. Kolampura කියන්නේ Colombo city, Kolampura, right? Senkadagalapura means Kandian city, Senkadagalapura, Kandian city. Atugalpura, Kurunagala, okay? Pura means city, Kurunagala city, Atugalpura, okay? Atugalpura. Understand what I'm saying? So, Pulatisipura means Polonnaruwa city. Pulatisipura. Pura means city, Putha. Remember very well. Gama means village. Pura means city. So before King Pandukabhaya started Anuradhapura, or before King Pandukabhaya started Anuradhapura kingdom, Anuradhapura was not a city. It was called Anuradha Gama. It was called Anuradha Gama. Okay. Anuradha, who is Anuradha? Anuradha is a name. Anuradha was a minister under Vijay. Okay. Anuradha was a friend of Vijay. So Anuradha established a settlement, a village called Anuradha Gama. And King Pandukabhaya, when he came to power, he decided, I'm going to develop this to a city. I'm going to make this a city because I want to make a kingdom. And if there's a kingdom, there should be a capital. And I'm going to choose Anuradhagama as my capital. And Anuradhagama is too small. I'm going to make it big. I'm going to make it proper. So what he did, he built a palace. He built gates to the city. He built roads in the city. He built gates to enter and leave the city. He built hospitals in the city.
Also.
He built hospitals. He built a cemetery in the city to bury the dead bodies. No cemetery in the city. He appointed people to collect garbage and work in the cemeteries to bury dead bodies and collect garbage and all. He started a proper government. This is called a proper ruling system, okay? Government. Like you appoint people, you give them responsibilities. Okay, this is what you call a proper government. And develop the city, you know, make your construction activities and build tanks. Okay, build tanks, the Pandu Vaver and Basavakkulama Vaver, the two tanks built by King Pandukabhaya in Anuradhapura, you can even see today in Anuradhapura, Basavakkulama Vaver in the city of Anuradhapura. Very beautiful. Okay, so you know, he built so many, he built a proper kingdom. So that is why we say King Pandukabhaya is the first king of our country. Okay, you learned this in grade 6 and a few additional things I told you. And if you had forgotten already, now you remember the things. Okay, now we are not going to waste too much time on this. We're just, you know, like revising quickly. Okay, right. Then now, the first king of our country, King Pandukabhaya, and the last king, Sri Kamarajasinghe, we'll talk about him later. And there were more than 185 kings who ruled our country. 185 plus kings who ruled our country. Now, can we learn about everybody? We don't have the time for this. Okay, we don't have the time. And also, is everybody very important? No, only few are very important. Okay, only few are very, very important. Like 30-40 kings out of these 185 plus kings are super important. Out of that 30-40 kings also, about 10 kings are very important for you when you are studying. okay, in your syllabus, about 10, 12 kings, very, very important, okay? So you don't have to worry too much. You don't have to panic. You don't have to get scared now. You just relax, okay? We got to learn only a few kings, okay? Right? And out of this 185, we don't have the time. And also not all the kings are very, very important, okay? Some of these kings ruled only 1 year, 5 months. There was a king who ruled only 5 days, okay? Yeah, 5 days. Some kings only 1 day. You come to power today, you are killed tomorrow, and then someone else took over the power. So there are kings like that as well, weak kings. There were strong kings like Pandukabe. King Pandukabe ruled the kingdom for 70 years. He was ruling Anuradhapura kingdom for 70 years. Okay, 70 years, right? Yeah, okay. So there are kings like that you have to learn about. And there are many kings that you don't have to worry too much. Okay. So we will go through a couple more before we get into this lesson, right? Real lesson. Then after King Pandukabe, we can see another very important king come into power. Not immediately after, but what I'm saying is after King Pandukabe, after some time. Okay, we don't have to remember all the kings. Okay, even I don't remember, right? You don't have to, because we have much important stuff to do than this, right? Remembering all the kings. No, nobody's gonna ask you write the whole list of kings. Okay, yeah, right. So then you don't have to remember. So after King Pandukabe, another very important king who came to power is King Devanampiyathissa. You know this name, right? Have you heard of this name? King Devanampiyathissa? Yes?
Yes.
Yes or no? Right. So King Devanampiyathissa is so special because of one thing. Who can tell me what that is?
Because he
Yes,
introduced Buddhism.
Buddhism came to the country during his time. So Buddhism was basically gifted to the country. Okay, Buddhism was gifted to our country from India, right? So there was a king called King Ashoka. He was an emperor. You know, there's a difference between a kingdom and an empire. Okay, anybody know the difference between a kingdom and an empire? Now, kingdom is an area ruled by a king with a border, with a proper border. Okay, there's a border. Okay, here's the border. Here's my kingdom. It's like that. But an empire means this kingdom is expanding. This kingdom is fighting other kingdoms and joining those kingdoms to this kingdom. So let's say there's another kingdom. Okay, this is kingdom A. There's kingdom B, kingdom C, kingdom D. So what kingdom A will do? He will capture, the king of kingdom A will capture kingdom B, C, D, and join those kingdoms. Now the kingdom is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And then you have E, F, like that. You have many kingdoms. Okay, so you keep capturing those kingdoms. You keep capturing those kingdoms. You keep expanding your power, and your kingdom is now expanding. Your kingdom is like a balloon now, right? Like expanding. Yeah, like a balloon, yeah, that you are, blowing air into. So this is like this is called an empire. Okay, so an expanding kingdom is called an empire. So India is a huge country, right? India is more about 50 times bigger than Sri Lanka. Okay, about 50 times, right? Sri Lanka, 50 times of Sri Lanka is India. It's a huge country. So King Ashoka came to power in India. He captured almost all of India. Okay, only a small part was left because he decided to stop the war because he was so fed up. He was so fed up with the amount of lives lost and seeing people die and everything. He, at one point, he was like, enough, this is enough. I'm not going to kill people anymore, right? So King Ashoka became a Buddhist after this, right? After being fed up of his war campaigns. And he became a Buddhist, and then one thing he wanted to do is to spread Buddhism in the other countries in the region. Okay, so he made a good friend with King Devanapithis. Now King Devanapithis and Emperor Ashoka of India became good friends. It's like Donald Trump. You know Donald Trump? Yeah, who is Donald Trump? Anybody? Yeah.
President of America.
President of USA, right? Yeah, the orange color guy. Okay, so yeah, so he's big man, no? Yeah. President of USA. USA is the most powerful country in the world. And you know Anurukumara Disanayak, our president. Yeah. So this is like that. Okay. Donald Trump becoming a good friend of Anurukumara Disanayak, like something like this. Okay. So this friendship is something like this. Okay. Now Donald Trump is not a good friend of Anurukumara. I'm just telling you example. Okay. Like Emperor Ashoka was a big, king like that, right, in the region, because he was ruling almost all of India. Huge, very powerful king, right? Then he made a good friend of King Devanapithis, because he might have understood King Devanapithis is also important to me. He might be a small king with a small kingdom, but Sri Lanka is important to me. This location of Sri Lanka is important. We need to maintain good relations. So that is how he made King Devanapithis also understood the importance. So King Devanapithis is the first king to understand the importance of international relationships. Remember that very well. Okay? You will learn that again in grade 10. King Devanapithis understood, okay, I have to make good friends with other countries. What do I have to do for that? Okay, I see King Ashoka, Emperor Ashoka in India. Let's make good friends with him. He became good friends. Emperor Ashoka also became good friends with King Devanapithis. So King Ashoka sent the message of Buddhism, in the hands of Arahat Mahinda Thero during the time of King Devanapithis. That is how Buddhism came to our country. Okay, Buddhism came to our country during King Devanapithis as a result of the relationship that he had with Emperor Ashoka in India. Okay, so Emperor Ashoka, when he became a Buddhist, he was called Dharma Ashoka. Okay, he was called Dharma Ashoka, right? So another name to call Ashoka, right? Okay. So I believe everybody understand the concept here. Many things to discuss about King Devanapithis, but not the time now. We are just revising what you learned in grade 6, just to get a idea. Okay. So then also I'm not talking too much now. You learned about King Dutugamunu. You learned about King Vasaba, I believe. Yes, a little bit about King Vasaba. I don't remember the grade 6 syllabus now. It's been a very long time since I taught. I last taught a grade 6 class in 2019. Yeah, you were just starting school by then. Right, okay. We also have another king, King Valagamba. You learn a few kings like this, okay? So King Dutugamunu is special. King Dutugamunu is special because he became the first king to rule the whole country, or to bring the whole country under one flag. So before that, the country was kind of divided, okay, among kings. Or there were regional kings as well. So what King Dutugamunu did, when King Dutugamunu came to power, or when King Dutugamunu was growing up, our country was controlled by a Chola king called Elar. Okay, Elar. So King Dutugamunu had to go to war with him, defeat him. Chola kings came from India. So Chola dynasty, will come to that later in detail. So King Dutugamunu had to defeat Elar to liberate, or to free the country from King Elar, and brought the whole country under one flag, under one rule. Only one king in the country now. That is King Dutugamunu. So King Dutugamunu is the first king to do this. Okay, first king to bring the whole country under one rule. Under one rule. No 2, 3 kings. Only one king. Only one chief king. This is called Maharaja. Maharaja. Raja means king. Maha means chief. Maharaja Gamunu. Dutugamunu, right? Okay. Then King Dutugamunu did a lot of other things. Not the time to discuss everything, but we will discuss later when we have time. And another very important king is King Vasaba. King Vasaba is so special because he is the first king to start building large tanks in Sri Lanka for agriculture. We spoke about tanks in unit number 1, right? We spoke about paddy field cultivation, how water is stored for paddy field cultivation. We spoke about these tanks. So King Vasaba is the first king to build large scale tanks in Sri Lanka for the first time. Other kings built small tanks. King Vasabha built huge tanks for the first time. Okay, during King Vasabha's time, Sri Lanka became a rich country, not like today. Today we are like beggars, right? Today we are like very poor, right? Yeah, we are taking loans from everybody and we cannot pay our bills, right? As a country, we are very poor today. Yeah, yes, other things. We are rich or poor now as a country. What do you think, Budhe? Sri Lanka is a rich country. Yeah, Sri Lanka is very poor now, right? Yeah, we cannot pay our bills properly. Yes, we are poor. But during King Vasabha's time, we were a rich country. Okay, we even supported India with food. Okay, during King Vasabha's time, imagine, yeah, how great, right? King Vasabha built large tanks, cultivated more paddy fields, and the extra rice we produced, we exported to India because India had a big drought going on. And Indian people started dying in the Krishna Valley area in India, in central India. So Indians wanted our food and we provided them our extra food so they can survive. So this is our country during the time of King Vasabha. We were rich. We were helping others. Okay, today we are begging for help, right? Okay, you will understand this. Okay. Then King Valagamba is another very important king. Mainly King Valagamba is important because of his religious activities. It was during the time of King Valagamba that the main book for Buddhists, which is called the Tripitaka, like it's like the Bible for Catholics, it's like the Quran for Muslims, is like the Veda or Bhagavad Gita for Hindus. It is the Tripitaka for the Buddhists. Okay, the Tripitaka is the most important book for Buddhists. And this Tripitaka was written on a book for the first time during the time of King Valagamba. Okay, during the time of King Valagamba. Before that, this book was passed from generation to generation through by hearting. Okay, through by hearting, right? Oral tradition, right? Orally it was like brought. It's not a book, you can't call it a book, like orally it was brought, that is a collection. So then it was written on a book that became the Tripitaka, okay, the three scriptures. So the three scriptures is the most important religious book for the Buddhists, and this was written on a book for the first time during the time of King Valagamba. King Valagamba ruled Anuradhapura kingdom. Okay, right. So these are some kings, and King Valagamba also built Abhayagiriya Dagaba in Anuradhapura, another very important stupa Dagaba. So many things to discuss about King Valagamba as well. But this is not the time. You just learned a few things in grade 6. So I'm just, like I just quickly told you these things so you know a little bit about Anuradhapura kingdom. Okay, right. Now, another very important thing before we take a proper start to this lesson is that these kings belong to royal families. Okay, so if a king comes to power, he will continue his family in power. Okay, normally another outsider cannot be a king in a country. You need to have a chance. Okay, so normally Budhe, everybody cannot be kings. Now if I think that I want to be the king of Sri Lanka, I cannot. Okay, yeah. All right, so you need to meet a certain criteria. Not everybody can be kings. So you have to be a son or a brother, or you have to be a family member of a king in order to be a king. A person who is walking on the road cannot be a king. Okay, just one guy is walking, okay, please come, please come. Yeah, you can be the king. Okay, you look like a king, you look beautiful, you look smart, you walk like a king, please come. This guy is walking on the road and you are calling him and you are making him a king. This can't happen. Okay, you need to be a member of the royal family if you want to be the king. So either your brother should be a king, either your father should be the previous king, either your son can be the next king. If you are a king, your son can be the next king, or your grandfather can be the next king, or your wife's father is the king, something like that also can, right? Let's say you are a prince and you marry a princess, and then her father is the king. So like then also you can be the king, because you are a member of the royal family. So you have to be a member of the royal family to be a king. Not everybody can be kings. Okay. So this is what you need to understand. So there were different royal families who ruled our country from time to time. The first royal family is the house of Vijay or Vijay dynasty, started from King Vijay. King Pandukabe is from Vijay dynasty. King Devanampith is from Vijay dynasty, the Vijay family. Okay, remember that. King Dudugaman also from Vijay dynasty. Okay, you got to understand that. And King Vasabha was not from that family. King Vasabha started a new royal family. King Vasabha was not a son of a king. King Vasabha was not a member of a royal family. When King Vasabha came to power, he started a new family, new dynasty. What is that dynasty called? Anybody remember what you learned in grade 6? If you can remember, you won't come to this class, right? This family is called the Lambakarna dynasty. Lambakarna royal family. Lambakarna dynasty was started by King Vasabha. Okay. So this is the Lambakarna number 1 dynasty, we can say. Okay, Lambakarna dynasty 1. There were several Lambakarna dynasties who ruled our country. We'll come to that later. Just relax. Okay. So what you need to know is there were several ruling families who came to power, and some families are Vijaya dynasty, Lambakarna dynasty, and there was another dynasty called the Mauryan dynasty. Maurya dynasty. Maurya dynasty. For example, King Dhatusena was from Maurya dynasty. King Dhatusena, who ruled Anuradhapura kingdom, another very strong king. Those who don't know King Dhatusena, he is the one who built Kalavavar. Dhatusena is the father of King Kashyapa, who built Sigiriya. Okay, so you know Sigiriya, right? Most of you. So Kashyapa is the king who built Sigiriya. Dhatusena was his father. He belonged to Mauryan dynasty. Okay, Dhatusena. Dhatusena. Maurya dynasty. So what happened is, what you need to understand is, many ruling families, many royal families, which are called dynasties, ruled our country. Okay. From time to time, when these dynasties are changing, there were fights. There were fights between these dynasties. Now a special fight happened between the Lambakarna dynasty and the Mauryan dynasty in Anuradhapura kingdom for power. Okay, all these things happen for power. So Lambakarna dynasty, they want their people to come to power. They want somebody from their family to come to power. Mauryan dynasty wants somebody from their family to come to power. So what these two families do, they fight each other. They fight each other. They sometimes argue with each other, or they also organize armies and go to fight with each other to bring their rulers to power. Okay. So this is how we take a start to this lesson, right? So there was a time where there were a lot of fights in Anuradhapura kingdom. There were a lot of fights in Anuradhapura kingdom between two royal families. Those families were called Lambakarna dynasty and Mauryan dynasty. Okay, Lambakarna dynasty, Mauryan dynasty. Now I have given some examples here for you to read. Some examples from Vijaya dynasty, some examples for the rulers from Lambakarna dynasty, some examples for the rulers of Mauryan dynasty. Okay, so there were fights between mainly Lambakarna dynasty and Mauryan dynasty during a time in Anuradhapura kingdom, and this is before a king called King Manavamma came to power. Now in this lesson, King Manavamma is the most important king that we are learning. The first important king that we are going to learn today is King Manavamma. Now King Pandukabe, King Devanampithissa, King Dutugamunu, King Vasaba, King Valagamba. We learned about them in grade 6. So today in this lesson, grade 7, lesson number 2, the first important king that comes into our head, or the first important king that meets us, is King Manavam. Okay, what's so special about King Manavam? Before we talk about King Manavam, we'll talk about the background. What was the country's situation before he came to power? Like I said before, there were many royal families who ruled our country, and from time to time they were fighting with each other to bring their rulers to power. Okay, it's like fighting with each other. It's like you are fighting with your friends in your class to bring the to become the monitor in the class. Have you fought like this? Yeah, have you fought? Okay, just kidding. Anyway, so sometimes you want to be the monitor, right? You want to be the captain of a team or something. Sometimes you fight, right? So this is very bad, when you are fighting with somebody to become the powerful person. This is not nice. Okay. So what to do? This is what happened in our country, unfortunately. So many royal families, they wanted their rulers to come to power. Lambakanda dynasty wanted their kings to come to power. Mauryan dynasty wanted their kings to come to power. So they both started fighting each other. Not only that, these fights, to engage in these fights, they brought soldiers from India. Lambakanda dynasty, for example, they called soldiers from India. They paid soldiers from India, South India, and they asked them to come and fight for them. Then Mauryan dynasty also did the same thing. They also paid, they also paid, or they used their contacts, they used their relationships in India and called their soldiers to fight for them. Now, what's the problem here? There's internal conflict. People of the same country are fighting with each other for power. This is what you call a power struggle. Power struggle. People from the same country fighting each other for power. Not only that, we bring soldiers from India to fight for us. Lambakanda family is bringing soldiers from India to fight for them. Mauryan family is bringing soldiers from India to fight for them. Now many Indian soldiers also fighting in Sri Lanka with two sides. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? This is a very dangerous situation, right? When soldiers from another country is fighting in your country, and when the people of your own country is fighting each other for power, it is a very dangerous political situation in a country. So this was the political situation in country before King Manavamma came to power. So what was happening in the politics of our country? Like I said before, there were disputes, there were conflicts, fights between Lambakanda and Mauryan dynasties, and there were huge battles between the Mauryan and Lambakanda dynasty, where a lot of property was destroyed, lot of people were killed, lot of resources were destroyed, economy was destroyed completely. Economy, trade, production, cultivation, everything became very, very weak. Okay, the economy also became weak because of that. What is the economy? We learned in unit number 1, right? Yeah. Then calling armies or mercenaries. Mercenaries means what? They paid soldiers. So you are paying a salary to a soldier and asking him to fight for you. He is called a mercenary. Okay, mercenary means those soldiers who fight for money. Soldiers, there are two types of soldiers. Okay, soldiers who fight for the country, soldiers who fight for money. Soldiers who fight for money, they will go to other countries and fight. Soldiers who fight for the country, they will stay in their country and fight for the country. They will sacrifice their life for the country. Okay, that is soldier who will protect your country and fight for the country. There are soldiers who will fight for other countries. So they are called mercenaries. Okay, you pay for them, you pay them, they will fight for you. Okay, they will fight for you. They come from other countries, right? Okay, so there were soldiers like this from India coming to our country and fighting our battles. So this is a big political situation in the country. This is a very dangerous political situation in the country in this time. Okay, so during this time, King Manavamma was born, right? So who is King Manavamma? We come to that right next. Okay. So who is King Manavamma? Prince Manavamma was born to another king, his father, King Kashyapa II. King Kashyapa II was a ruler in Anuradhapura kingdom. King Manavamma or Prince Manavamma was born to him. Okay, Prince Manavamma's father was King Kashyapa II. King Kashyapa II ruled the country for only 9 years. Okay, only 9 years. He got ill, he got sick, and he died. And Prince Manavamma was very young when King Kashyapa II died, his father king. Okay, he was very young. So he could not be the next king. So then the next king became King Dattopatissa. Dattopatissa. Okay. So King Dattopatissa became the next king. King Dattopatissa, this is the second Dattopatissa. That's why we have these numbers after their king's names. Remember these numbers. This number pute after the king's names, meaning that there are many kings who use the same name. Okay. Yeah. Now, Yesara, for example, you are not the only Yesara in the country, right? And Shafna, you know, I have a sister also, right? Shafna. Then we have Uttara. There are many Uttaras, right? So, okay. So to identify, to identify these kings in order, we put numbers to them, okay? Now, normally, Pute, you don't use numbers with your names, right? Now, Yesara, are you telling that I am Yesara 152? Are you telling your name like this? Yeah? No, right? Okay. You don't use numbers with your name, right? So it's like that, right? So we are the ones who put these numbers, okay? Because when we write history, we saw one Kashyapa. Okay, we saw one Kashyapa who built Sigiriya, and this is the first Kashyapa we saw in our history books. So we named him Kashyapa the first. Okay. Then this is the second Kashyapa you see, same name, second Kashyapa. Another Kashyapa came to power. And this is the second Kashyapa we see in our history books. So that's why we name him Kashyapa the second. Okay. So this is how we are the ones who gave these numbers to kings. The kings never said, I'm Kashyapa the fifth or Kashyapa the fourth. They don't say like that, I'm Kashyapa. Bring both the Kashyapas here to the class now. Both will say, my name is Kashyapa. I am a king. Both will say that. But the thing is, we are the ones who gave these numbers to make it very clear, to identify them easily. Okay, so who came to rule first, who came later, like that. Okay, right. Anybody have any questions? Please ask if you have any questions. Now, I just deviated from the topic to tell these numbers, right? Okay. So now the problem is Prince Manavamma, when his father died, he was very young. He was not able to become the next king. He was too young. And King Dattopatissa came to power. King Dattopatissa is the second Dattopatissa we see in the history. So that's why we name him Dattopatissa the second. Okay. So King Dattopatissa the second came to power in Anuradhapura after King Kashyapa the second, and he was looking to kill Manavamma because he know the previous king is Kashyapa the second, and his son is Manavamma. So he can be he is qualified to become the next king. So if I kill him, I can continue to be the king because he is qualified. He might kill me otherwise, right? So this is how the kingship works, right? Because when a ruler from another family comes to power, they will try to kill the other members of the other family. Okay, so this is how it worked. Otherwise, there will be fights, right? Okay, so because kings they rule in families. Okay, the kings they rule in families. So it's very difficult for a king from another family to come to power. Okay, unless there's a very bad situation in the country. Otherwise, the same ruling family will be in power. Okay, so normally when a king dies, his son or his brother will become the next king. That will continue. And when that king dies, his son or his brother will become the next king. And that will continue like that for many, many years. Okay, this is what you need to understand. Right. Then Dattopatissa the second was looking for Prince Manavamma to kill him. So Prince Manavamma was scared. He had no choice but to run away to India for protection. Okay, this time he went to Pallava state in India. You know, the Pallava state in India is a kingdom in South India. Okay, Pallava kingdom in South India, which is very close to Sri Lanka. Okay, the southern part of India, the very southern part of India was called Pallava kingdom. The Pallava kingdom, Manavamma went to Pallava kingdom for protection. Okay, so Pallava kingdom gave him protection. Okay, you are okay, we know you, you are a member of the royal family. Okay, you have a threat now, they will kill you. Okay, you can stay with us. So Prince Manavamma grew up there, and he became a good friend with the Pallava king Narasimhavarman. Narasimhavarman, okay, Narasimhavarman the first, Narasimhavarman. So Narasimhavarman was a Pallava king in India. So Manavamma grew up, became friends with him, and he started working for Narasimhavarman. He became a commander of the army for Narasimhavarman. Okay, so Prince Manavamma did a great service to Narasimhavarman in many battles, in many fights. Prince Manavamma showed his talent. So Narasimhavarman was very happy with Prince Manavamma. He came from Sri Lanka. He fought for us, and he's fighting very well, and he did a great service to me. So Narasimhavarman, if I am Narasimhavarman, I'll be happy, right? One general coming from another country and fighting for you and winning your battles, you'll be happy, right? So what Narasimhavarman did as a show of gratitude, as a gesture of gratitude, what gratitude means, right? Like giving back, right? For the good service, showing respect. King Narasimhavarman said, Manavamma, I know you are from Anuradhapura. Now Anuradhapura is ruled by other kings. So you are a son of, King Kashyapa II, another great king of Anuradhapura. So you take my army, you go and get Anuradhapura back. Okay, because you are qualified, you are eligible to become the king of Anuradhapura. Yeah, so this is the gesture of respect by King Narasimhavarman of Pallava kingdom. Okay, so he gave a huge army, to Prince Manavamma. This time Manavamma now very strong, right? With the Pallava army, he landed in Sri Lanka and he started fighting with Dattopatissa II. Dattopatissa II is the king in Anuradhapura. I told you this name earlier. Okay, so the Pallava army was fighting so hard with Dattopatissa. Now the battle is going on, but there was a message from India in Pallava kingdom. Narasimhavarman had fallen critically ill. He became very sick, Narasimhavarman. Prince Manavamma had lived for many years there already. So he had a very good relationship with Pallava kingdom. So when Pallava king became ill, he is fighting with Pallava army, right? He brought the Pallava army with him, right? So they also have to go back, right? Because the king is sick. Now, if the king is sick, maybe another kingdom will capture that kingdom. Okay, the kingdom is weak when the king is sick, because you have to find a solution that who's gonna be the next king. So Prince Manavamma had to go back this time. Okay, Prince Manavamma turned back with his army. So the Pallava army went back to India and provided security to the Pallava king. And this time it was very long. Prince Manavamma had to stay in India for 20 years serving for the king. Okay, yeah, very long time. Okay, so by this time Prince Manavamma was a kind of middle-aged, maybe 45 years, something like this. Yeah, 40-45 years. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so everybody understand the story up to now? Yes. Who was the father of King Manavamma or Prince Manavamma? Anybody? Who?
King
Kashyapa
Kashyapa
II. Kashyapa II. Very good. Yeah. All right. Kashyapa II. So, who came to power after Kashyapa II? Who was looking to kill Manavamma? Who was the king who came to power after Kashyapa II? Who was looking to kill Manavamma?
Vallavati.
Sorry. Who was looking to kill Prince Manavamma? Yeah.
King Dattopatissa.
King Dattopatissa, yeah, King Dattopatissa the second. Okay, he's the one who was looking to kill Manava. Then Manavamma went where, Bude? Manavamma fled to where for protection? Where did he go
India
to?
and the
India.
Pallava
Which
state.
kingdom? Which
Yeah,
kingdom?
to
Pallava kingdom.
Pallava.
Who was the king in Pallava kingdom who provided protection to Manavam?
Nanda Singha.
Narasingha?
Narasimha.
Narasingha Varman. Okay, Narasingha Varman, right? Narasingha Varman is the one who basically provided protection also, and also Prince Manavamma worked for him, okay, served under him in his army, right? Okay. Then as a gesture of respect or as a gesture of gratitude, what did Narasingha Varman do?
A
What did
set of
Narasingha?
armies.
He gave an army. He gave an army. He told Manavamma, Manavamma, go and get your kingdom back. Anuradhapura is in your enemy's hands. I know this. So get my army, get your kingdom back, become the king of Anuradhapura. Right? This is his blessing. But what happened, unfortunately? Manavamma came. Manavamma started fighting with the Anuradhapura king, Dattopatissa II. But the Pallava king fell ill. Right? So Manavamma had to go back and stay back for another 20 years in Pallava kingdom. Okay. So then after Narasimhavarman the first, Narasimhavarman second came to power, and Narasimhavarman second said this time, okay, Manavamma, you go, you take the army again. I know it's late, but you know, I'm just making up this story so that it's interesting, right? So it's been 20 years, okay, fine. Take the army, go and win Anuradhapura again. Okay, go ahead and fight the battle, fight your battle, and you know, get your kingdom back. Right? Then this time Manavamma was very strong with the Pallava army. He came to Sri Lanka, and this time the king in Anuradhapura was another king, King Hattadata. Okay, King Hattadata. Right? The little different, difficult names to remember. Yeah. Okay. So King Hattadata. You know, King Hattadata. A little difficult name. Sometimes tongue twisting, right? So names, you got to remember a few like this, only not many, okay? Only a few names like this. So you got to work a little hard to do this, okay? Right. So King Hattadata was ruling Anuradhapura kingdom this time. And Prince Manavamma came with a Pallava army with the help of Narasimhavarman II. And this time they defeated the Anuradhapura army, and Prince Manavamma came to power in Anuradhapura in 684 AD. This is a big event. This is a big event in Anuradhapura kingdom. Okay, it's a huge turning point, huge event in Anuradhapura kingdom, because King Manavamma was able to come to power with the help of the Pallava army. And King Manavamma was the son of Kashyapa II, who was a previous king of Anuradhapura kingdom. And he had to go to India and stay in hiding, and then organize an army and come back and seize the power, right? He became the king of Anuradhapura again, right? Okay. So what can we learn from King Manavamma's story? We have a lot of things to learn from King Manavamma, right? Story. Okay. So now King Manavamma came to power in this country when there were a lot of problems going on. He did not come to power when everything was so perfect. He had to live for many years in India. Okay. Under another king, he had to serve another king in Pallava kingdom, Narasimhavarman. And he finally served very well, served that king very well, and that king also gave him an army, so he had no problem coming back. And he fought 2 times, okay? Once he fought, not successful, he went back to India because the Indian king fell ill. Then after 20 years, he never gave up, right? This is what you can learn from his life. He never gave up. Okay, he never ever stopped. He always kept trying. So even after 20 years, he was able to come with a big army and capture Anuradhapura kingdom. Okay, this is a big thing that we can learn from his story. Okay, right. Then then King Manavamma came to power. Prince Manavamma became King Manavamma in our country, and there was no proper administration. There was no proper government when he came to power in Anuradhapur. Like, the other kings like King Hattadath and all, they were not ruling the country properly. So King Manavamma had to basically make a proper administration structure, okay? Appointing proper people to proper departments, giving them responsibilities, and developing the country, developing the city of Anuradhapura. Okay, and King Manavamma ruled the country for 35 years. 35 years. Okay, 35 years. 20 years he was in India, but still he came back to Sri Lanka, captured Anuradhapura kingdom, and ruled for 35 years. This is a big message that he gives us. So it's never too late. He says, you keep trying, one day you will achieve your goal, right? This is the best life story we can learn from Manava. He came to power when there was a big crisis in our country. The situation was very bad. The economy was very weak. The administration was very weak in our country. But he made it like proper once again. And this is a starting of a new royal dynasty, Lambakarna the second royal dynasty. Lambakarna II, family Lambakarna II, right? Royal family called Lambakarna II, the second Lambakarna family came to power. And King Manavamma, this family stayed in power for 300 years. You remember what I'm saying? So this is a brand new start. This is a strong start once again to Anuradhapura kingdom. And this kingdom, this royal family stayed in power for 300 years until the end of Anuradhapura kingdom. It was King Manavamma's family which was ruling Anuradhapura kingdom. You have to remember that. Okay. So that's the special thing about King Manava. So what does he say? He says, if you try, if you keep trying, you can even make good friends with other countries and get their help and get your job done, right? This is another message that he's giving us. Yeah. He's not, we are learning about kings, not just because we want to learn their story. We have to learn their lessons. What are they teaching us? What can we take from their lives to our lives? So meaning that King Manavamma made good friends with Pallava state in India. Pallava state gave an army to Manavamma to come and capture Anuradhapura kingdom. Who will give you army to go and capture another kingdom if you don't believe in that person? Just imagine how much King Manavamma would have done to win the heart of the Pallava king, Narasimhavarma. He gives you an army, can you now you don't even give a half of your sandwich sometimes to your friend. Yeah. you think 100 times before giving your pencil or pen. I humble then. Yeah. You just imagine you are a king and you are giving your army to somebody and go and get your, win your life. Yeah. This is a big message. Okay. That means King Manavamma was very important even for the other kings in Pallava kingdom. Okay. He was an important figure. He was an important person. Okay. Right. So these are some life lessons that you can learn from King Manavamma. So this is why we are learning about these kings. We will learn about their story. We will also learn about their service and we will learn the lesson that they are giving us. Right? This is the most important thing. Okay. And today we will talk about King Sena the first who came to power after King Manavamma. After some time, we can say King Manavamma, another king called King Sena came to power. Now another important king, okay, in Anuradhapura kingdom. And after King Sena the first, King Sena the second came to power. We will talk about King Sena the second next week. Okay, so today we will talk about two kings, King Manavamma, King Sena the first. Okay, right. So a little, you have to listen very carefully. Okay, yeah. Later on, the lesson becomes easy because this is a little, I would say this is a little tough area because many names to remember. These are some names that's a little, difficult to remember. Okay, some names are difficult to remember. Yeah, so some names are difficult to remember, but you know, towards the end of the session or the end of the lesson is gonna be easy. Don't worry. Okay, right. So King Sena the first is another king who ruled Anuradhapura kingdom, and he was the son of a king called King Dappula the second. Okay, King Dappula the second. Now, King Dappula the second had several children. One is Aggabodhi, the other one is Sena. They also had Prince Sena also had two more brothers. Mahinda, Prince Mahinda. There was another brother. These are all brothers, okay? Adipada Kashyapa. Adipada Kashyapa. These are all princes, okay? Princes of the royal family, right? Okay, just like that. I'll put like this. So these are all brothers, Pute. Aggabodhi was the eldest one, okay? Then you have Sena, Mahinda, Adipada Kashyapa like this, okay? So what happened after Dappula the second? After Dappula the second, King Aggabodhi came to power. Aggabodhi 9. He came to power as Aggabodhi the 9th. Okay, Aggabodhi the 9th. So Dappula's son, right? Dappula the second's son. And after Aggabodhi the 9th, Aggabodhi the 9th ruled the country only for 3 years. Okay, 3 years. We don't know exactly how he died, but most of these kings sometimes they died because of some sickness. Okay, yeah, because sometimes, you know, they die before their age. Sometimes, you know, different conspiracies, yeah, like, you know, poison and these kind of things, many things, okay, were going on in the kingdoms those days. So King Aggabodhi the 9th, son of Dappula the second, ruled for only 3 years. After that, King Sena came to power. King Sena is the first Sena we see in our history. So that's why we call him King Sena the first. He came to power in Anuradhapura kingdom. Okay. Now during this time, Bude, the Pandyan kingdom, not the Pallava kingdom, remember, the Pandyan kingdom started becoming powerful in India. Now, let me just, you know, tell you a few things about the South Indian kingdoms. Like I said before, we had many royal families ruling our country. Lambakarna family, or Lambakarna dynasty, Mauryan dynasty, Vijaya dynasty. I spoke to you about this, right? Similarly, in India, we had several dynasties. The Chola dynasty, the Pandyan dynasty, the Pallava dynasty. Sometimes on the left side or on the other side of India, on the Kerala side, we had the Chera kingdom, Chera dynasty. So we had several ruling families like this in India as well. So sometimes, you know, the Cholas were powerful. Sometimes the Pandyans were powerful. Sometimes the Pallavas were powerful. You know what to understand from this. Not everybody is powerful every day. Today you can be powerful. Tomorrow another person will be powerful. Okay. Today I can be powerful. Tomorrow you can be powerful than me. Right? Today India is powerful. Tomorrow maybe Sri Lanka is powerful. Today USA or America is powerful. Tomorrow China can be powerful. Power is like that. Power is like a ball that is passing from hands to hands. Okay. Power will never be the same with everybody every day. Today will be with one person. One person will be powerful. Tomorrow maybe another person will be powerful. Not one person can stay in power, or not one person will be powerful forever. Okay. So similarly, during this time, before you know, King Sena the first times, and during King Manavamma's times, Pallava dynasty was powerful. And now during King Sena the first times, the Pandyan dynasty started becoming powerful. The Pandyan dynasty. Okay. Now when the Pandyan dynasty became powerful, they invaded Sri Lanka as well. They wanted to invade Sri Lanka. Okay. So the Pandyans, they became so powerful that they were thinking like, okay, we will attack Sri Lanka. We will capture Sri Lanka. So there was a ruler called Sri Maharishi Vallabha. Sri Maharishi Vallabha in Pandyan kingdom. He launched a battle against Sri Lanka. He invaded Sri Lanka, invaded the Anuradhapura kingdom. This battle was so huge, okay? Pandyan kingdom was very powerful. and our kingdom was not very powerful. Our Anuradhapura kingdom was not so powerful, but Pandyan kingdom was super powerful. At this time, Pandyan kingdom had defeated the Pallava kingdom and everybody, and had become a very powerful force in South India. So Sri Maharashi Vallabha's army was so huge that we could not fight and win this battle. Okay. So what happened? So many people were lost in this battle. Sri Maharashi Vallabha captured Anuradhapura and flattened Anuradhapura. He flattened the city, he made the city flat, he destroyed the buildings in the city, killed the people in the city, looted everything. We call him plundering. Plundering means looting. Looted all the valuable things, the gold, the valuable religious artifacts, the statues, the valuable things that we had, and everything historically very valuable things, the books, they were all taken by the Pandyans. They went to India. They sent all these valuable items that we had. They looted them and sent to India. Okay, Sri Maharashi Vallabha. And this battle was very intense. This battle was very, very strong. And King Sena the first brothers, Prince Mahinda and Adipada Kashyapa also fighting in this war, and they both were killed, very unfortunately. Okay. So King Sena the first lost both his brothers in the fight. Okay, Adipada Kashyapa or Adipada Kassapa and Prince Mahinda. Both of them were killed. So now this time King Sena the first realized, I can't win this. Sri Maharashi Vallabha is so strong. Pandyan army looks very strong. Now we can't put up a fight. I lost my two brothers also. So what do? I have to survive. I have to survive so I can fight for another day. Okay, so sometimes you have to run. Sometimes, when you are not strong, you have to withdraw. You have to go back. You have to take one step back. Sometimes in life also you have to do that. Okay, not always you will be strong, and you should know when to step back. When you are not strong, you don't fight and die. You go back. You live for another day and you come back strong. Okay, so this is called the setback, right? Setback is you getting defeated, and then you come back, you become strong and come back one day. Okay, this is how you take revenge. All right. Okay, so here King Sena the first lost both his brothers. Anuradhapura is flattened. Now it's very difficult to put a fight. Pandyan army has already captured Anuradhapura city. This is very dangerous now. Now what is the best thing? You have to survive. You have to live, right, to fight. So King Sena the first fled to Malayarata. Malayarata means the mountain region in the country. Udarata. Okay, the mountain area in the country. So the mountain area, nobody can find you, right? You can hide there. So the mountain area, like, the Kandy, this area, the Matale, this Kandy, Badul, all these are mountainous areas, right? So that is called Malayarata in our country. That region is called Malayarata. So King Sena the first fled to Malayarata, okay, and went into hiding. Then after that, after some time, there were some negotiations, there were some discussions between the Pandyan rulers and our rulers. Okay. Then the Pandyan rulers agreed, okay, we didn't come here to stay, so no problem. You can have your kingdom back. So the Pandyan rulers agreed. Okay, we are leaving Anuradhapura, you can have your kingdom back. So after negotiations, after discussions, okay. So there were a lot of discussions going on, peace talks, as we call it, peace agreement. A peace agreement was reached. Then King Sena the first got his kingdom back. Okay, King Sena the first was able to come to power again in Anuradhapura. But this time, what they realized is all the valuable things of Anuradhapura kingdom were taken by the Pandyans. So this is what you understand from the Pandyan invasion. The Pandyans did not destroy Anuradhapura to stay there. They wanted to get the valuable stuff from Anuradhapura. That is why they attacked. This is what we understand. Okay. So otherwise they will stay, right? They after we discussed with them, the Pandyans were like, okay, no problem. We didn't come here to stay. Okay, no problem. You can keep your kingdom. We are going. Yeah, no problem. Bye. See you. But you take all the valuable things. You take all the valuable. They took all the valuable things that we had. Who? The Pandyan king, the Pandyan army. Okay, so the Pandyan army left to Pandyan kingdom. And King Sena the first came to power in Anuradhapura again. Now this time Anuradhapura is destroyed completely. So King Sena the first had to work so hard to rebuild Anuradhapura. Okay, to rebuild Anuradhapura. So he worked for many years to rebuild Anuradhapura. And then he constructed buildings to temples like Jethavanarame, Abhayagiri, Ritikala monasteries, because they were all destroyed, okay, before by the Pandyan army. And he had to build some additional buildings as well. He rebuilt the Anuradhapura city back again. Who? Sena the first. And then King Sena the first appointed his brother, his brother who got killed, Adipada Kashyapa, he had a son. Adipada Kashyapa's son was appointed to rule the Ruhuna area. Okay, Prince Adipada Kashyapa's son. Adipada Kashyapa was the brother of Sena the first, who got killed in the battle between the Pandyan kingdom and Anuradhapura kingdom. So what happened here? This is the uncle, right? Sena the first is the uncle, and Adipada Kashyapa's son is the son, right? Like the nephew, yeah, as we call it, right? So uncle appointed the nephew to rule the Ruhuna area in our country. Okay, Ruhuna area is the southern region in our country. So that is how he earned the trust of his brother's son. Okay, so what you need to understand here, you have Sena the first here like this. Sena the first had a brother who is Adipada Kassapa or Adipada Kashyapa. Adipada Kashyapa was killed in battle between the Pandyan kingdom and Anuradhapura kingdom. So Adipada Kashyapa sacrificed his life for the country. King Sena the first survived and came to power again in Anuradhapura. But Adipada Kashyapa had a son. Okay. And this son was given a big responsibility by his uncle here, Sena the first. Okay. This is brother. Okay. Sena the first brother is Adipada Kashyapa. Okay. So then his son, Adipada Kashyapa's son, is Sena the second. Sena the second. So later, Sena the first appointed Sena the second as the next king in the kingdom. Okay. So Adipada Kashyapa was killed. He died, right? He died fighting against the Pandyans. And this is the uncle, right? This is the nephew. So this is the relationship between Sena the first and Sena the second. So after King Sena the first, Sena the second came to power. That is his nephew or brother's son. Okay. Everybody understand the relationship? Yeah. Everybody understood Puday here? Everybody got it? Any questions? Please ask if you have any questions. Okay, who's the father of Sena the first? Who's the father of Sena the first? Anybody? Starts with the D. Dapula the second. Dapula the second. Dapula the second had several children, no? Remember? Tell me one children starts with an A. Aggabodhi the 9. Roman 9. Okay, Roman 9. Then Aggabodhi the 9th had another brother, Sena, who became later Sena the first. They had two more brothers. Who are they? Prince Mahinda, Prince Adipada, Kassapa. Kassapa means Kashyapa. They both are same. Okay, you can write Kashyapa or you can write Kassapa, no problem. Okay, nobody will kill you for this. Right? Okay. Right. So after King Dapula, who became the next king? Aggabodhi the 9th. Okay, you can make a short note now. Okay, Aggabodhi the 9th ruled for how many years? Only 3 years. After Aggabodhi the 9th, okay, this is number 1. Okay, the number 1. And you can write the relationship here. Okay, son. right? Like that. It's easy then. Then this is Upute, this is bro, brother, bro. Yeah, brother. So for brothers we say bro, na? So this is the bro, okay? Yeah. So after Agabodhi the ninth, his bro, Sena the first came to power. Okay, Sena the first. And what happened to these two princes? Bro. What happened to the brothers? Killed, right? Killed in battle, right? You can write it, okay? Killed. Killed in which battle, Bude? The battle between Anuradhapura kingdom and the which kingdom in India? Pandyan kingdom. Very good, Pandyan kingdom. And who's the Pandyan king who invaded our country, Anuradhapura kingdom? Sri Maharashri Vallabha. Okay, now you can make a nice short note like this. Okay, like a illustration, right? It's easy for you to understand when you make something like this. Okay, the Appula the second you can write Father King here. Okay, small letters you can write. Big letters you can write the name of the king. This is the Father King. Okay, right. Then these are all children, right? Okay. Then son, right? Like that. Okay, brother here. Okay. Then Sri Maharishi Vallabha invaded. Okay, we can say invaded Anuradhapura kingdom. Okay, so Sri Maharishi Vallabha was from which dynasty? You can write this Pandyan king, Pandyan family or Pandyan dynasty. Okay, like that. You can leisurely write this. I will put a sketch of this in your group, right? In the main group. So you can, write it leisurely. Okay, you can take your time and make a nice note. Okay, yeah. Invaded Anuradhapura. Just like that. Invaded Anuradhapura. Okay.
Sir, should we copy that now?
Yeah, not now. I will put a photo. You can nicely write it, okay? With the information that I just explained. Better, no? Yeah? Right. So you can remember better, right? You can remember the relationship now, right? Okay. So the Appula the second is the father. Aggabodhi the ninth became the next king, his son. Aggabodhi the ninth ruled only for 3 years. Then Sena the first came to power in Anuradhapura. During Sena the first, there was a big invasion by Sri Maharishi Vallabha from Pandyan kingdom. Okay, invasion of Anuradhapura. And Anuradhapura kingdom was totally destroyed. Anuradhapura city was totally destroyed in this battle. And King Sena the first had two brothers, Prince Mahinda, Prince Adipada Kasapa. Very unfortunately, he lost both his brothers because of the battle. These two brothers fought very bravely for the country. They sacrificed their life for the country. Okay, the two brothers of King Sena the first. So King Sena the first had to survive now, had to save his life. So to save his life, he had to run away to Malayarata. Okay, Malayarata. Malayarata means the mountainous region in the country, mountainous area. He went into hiding. Then there were some discussions going on between Sri Maharishi Vallabha or Pandyan side and Sri Lankan side. Then the Pandyans agreed, okay, we are leaving, we are not staying here, we will leave, you can have your kingdom back. Then King Sena the first came to power again in Anuradhapura. This time the city was totally destroyed and King Sena the first had to work really hard to rebuild Anuradhapura city. And he also built additional buildings to Jetavanarame, then Abhayagiriya monastery, and also the Ritigala monastery. Okay, Ritigala monastery. Those three things I will put in the tute. You can also read and understand. And then after Sena the after Sena the first. See, Sena the first basically. Sena the first basically appointed another brother of his as the next king, but he died. Okay, he was Prince Udaya. But then he decided, okay, Adipada Kashyapa's son, I'm going to appoint him as the next king. And for now, until I die, I'm going to make him in charge of the Ruhunarata. Ruhunarata is a southern area in the country. So he later became Sena the second. Adipada Kashyapa's son is Sena the second. Okay. So I'm writing that here as well. Now everybody understand, right? The relationship. So with the arrow, we have the relationship here. So now you know who is the father. Adipada Kashyap is the father. Son is Sena the second. And Sena the first is the brother of Adipada Kashyapa. So then you know this relationship between Sena the first is uncle. Sena the first is the uncle of Sena the second. Okay. You need to understand that. That means your father's brother, right? Your uncle. Okay. Right. So you can have an idea here, just a general idea. And you can make a nice note. You can put some additional information if you like. You can watch the recording again if you have to. No problem. Go ahead, watch the recording and get some ideas and put those ideas together. Next week, we will talk about Sena the second, how he came to power, what achievements he made. And then we will talk about the organization of the kingdom. We will also talk a little about the politics in South India, okay, the three countries, the three kingdoms that existed in South India. And we have another two very important kings to learn about. King Vijayabahu the first and King Parakramabahu the first. So that's all about this lesson. I hope we can finish this lesson in 2 more weeks, hopefully. One day we will keep for questions and answers. Like, to practice our questions and writing answers to questions and all. So by end of next month, we can hopefully finish this lesson. Okay, that's the plan. We are planning to have, let's see, 1 week for Aurudu as well, but let's see, okay. If we are taking any break, we will cover in the coming weeks. We will do some extra time. No problem in the coming weeks, okay. Yeah. I will keep you updated. So did I put this in the group? Okay, I will put the note in the group, the sketch. You can write the full story, okay? You can write like killed in battle, killed by Pandyans, okay? Or died in battle. You can write something like that. You can use different words, okay? No problem. Okay, yeah. So you need to understand that very well, right? Okay. Who's the first king we learned today, Bude?
King Manava.
King Manavamma. Who was his father? Anybody remember his father's name? Manavamma's father's name?
Kashyapatu.
King Kashyapa the second. Okay, the second. This is how we tell the name of kings properly. Okay, more than telling Kashyapa to Kashyapa the second. Okay, that is the best way. Okay, yeah, right. Then who is the friend of basically who made good friends with Manavamma in India when he fled to India? Who's the king?
Kashyap.
Narasingha. Narasingha Varman. Okay, Narasingha Varman became good friend of basically Manavamma, and Manavamma worked for him. Yeah, so that he gave an army to go and grab the power. Okay, so Manavamma came to Sri Lanka to seize the power in Anuradhapura kingdom, right? So the first battle, right? The first time he came to Anuradhapura kingdom and started fighting with which king? Who was the king? Anybody? Who was the king in Anuradhapura that Manavamma had to fight first? King Datopati, sir? Yeah? Second, yes, exactly, yes. Then after that, Manavamma had to go back to Pallava kingdom because Pallava king fell ill. And then after 20 years, he came back with another army supported by Pallava king Narasimhavarman the second. And this time, who was the king in Anuradhapura that he had to fight with? Yes? King Hattadata. Okay, King Hattadata. Very good. These are different and difficult names to remember. So we can try and remember them. Okay, once you try a couple of times, you're gonna remember it. Okay, without any issue, right? Okay. So here we can draw a sketch for Manavamma also. his father, just like this. So when I say something story like this, you can draw a sketch like this. Okay, very easy to understand the relationship, and you will not forget after this. So this is son. Okay, Kashyapa the second, right? Kashyapa the second, right? Manavam. Okay. So here we can see after Kashyapa the second, we can write it here. Datopatis. Datopatis the second came to power in Anuradhapura. Okay, now you can write a story like this. Okay, seized power, just like that. I'm going to write it in small letters. Wait, I will show you how to make a note properly. This way it's easy. Okay, this is like an illustration. So you can even study this very easily for your exam. Okay. Was looking to kill Manavam, just like that. Okay. Yeah. Then after that, Manavam fled. Fled where, Bude? Fled to which kingdom? Pallava kingdom. Then Narasimha Varman comes here. Okay. Oops, we'll write it in big letters. Just like that. Narasimha Varman. So Narasimha Varman became friend, right? You can write here as well, relationship. So only use few words only. So with a few words, we can draw nicely, right? The full story we can tell, like a picture, right? So see, Manavamma became friend, okay, fled to Pallava kingdom. With Narasimha Varman, he became friend. Okay, then you can do like this. Then you can say Narasimha Varman again supported. Supported. I'm not using small letters. You can say supported, giving an army to invade Anuradhapura. Okay, yeah. So you can write like the invade Anuradhapura. Just like that. You can continue like this. Okay, yeah. So you can fill this up. Okay, then you can write the king who was there, Datopatisa was there in Anuradhapura. Then okay, then you can you can remember a few steps of the story like this. And then he came back, and this time it was King Hattadata in Anuradhapura, and then he finally managed to seize power in Anuradhapura kingdom. He became the king in Anuradhapura kingdom, who? King Manavamma. And his royal dynasty, his royal family stayed in power for 300 years in Anuradhapura. Until the end of Anuradhapura kingdom, it was King Manavamma's family who ruled Anuradhapura kingdom. Okay, so that's why King Manavamma is so special. And King Sena the first is from King Manavamma's dynasty. Okay, Lambakana the second dynasty. Lambakana too. Okay, yeah. And Sena the second also same family. Okay, same royal family, right? And we will discuss about King Sena the second and many other things next week. And I believe everybody happy. If you have any questions, please ask. This lesson, the first part is a little tricky. When you understand this, it's easy. But the coming parts are easy. Okay, yeah. Because we have a lot of little difficult names to remember, but you will do that. Enough practice, you're gonna do that fine. Just write them down like this, you're gonna remember, don't worry. Okay, write the sketch like this, learn the relationship. After looking at it for 1 or 2 times, it's gonna be very easy. Okay, yeah. Grade 7 history is difficult than grade 10, I think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, grade 10 we don't have a lot of tongue twisting names like this. No, it's easy. Yeah. Take care. Bye bye. God bless you. We'll see you next week. Okay. Bye.
Bye.